So my current project is called The Dynamic Social Agency of the Kalachakra Sand Mandala. And it can get a bit technical at times, but basically it's about a particular sand mandala that is constructed during an initiation rite in what has traditionally been a very esoteric and sacred and often secretive initiation ritual as part of a tantric Buddhist practice in Tibet. And this mandala is very elaborate. If you've never seen one, Google one right now on another tab, because they're amazing. But if you've ever seen one before, then you already know that they are constructed out of millions of grains of colored sand and placed painstakingly by monks who spend days and days building them, and then they're swept up and put into the nearest running water at the end of the ritual. And I was fascinated by the impermanence here and the reason that one would spend so long building a thing specifically to destroy it. It turns out later that that is a misguided question to begin with, because it doesn't take for granted all of the basic truths that are fundamental to a Buddhist practice.
The research name is Understanding the Human Voice, and it's a show, it's a podcast, a mockumentary scripted podcast show, where we are recording 12 different actors, and it's based off of the mockumentary show, and it's by recording different actors, we can look at their voices through the different recordings, through the pictures of their sound waves from the recordings, and from there we kind of try to look at understanding the human voice through the actor's voice. Most people's research tends to not be in the arts or in anything similar to performance-based research, because I think people think it's more research is, it has to be science or a little less artistic. And this is a form of being a little more artistic and using that for research purposes. So I've discovered a lot from it, and it's a lot of fun too.
Yeah, my project was on redefining gender roles through same-sex couples in collegiate dance sport. And dance sport is a ballroom and Latin dance practice. And for my project, I surveyed and observed the various aspects of ballroom and Latin dance in the collegiate scene, specifically looking at how same-sex couples compete in the competitions and how they choreograph their various routines and how successful they are. And in looking at that, I could compare it to the success of any average couple to see how the couples succeed and see if there's any discrimination and what their experiences were like. Same-sex couples were less successful in general because judges held them to a higher standard, and they also had more discrimination to compete with. They had to create their own space and advocate for themselves, but people were accepting of them if they were strong in advocating for themselves.